Neighborhood wisdom: how residents read dangerous spaces. Have you ever walked down a street and just knew something felt off? You didn't see anything explicitly dangerous, but your gut told you to pay attention. It's called street knowledge. For a long time, researchers like Elijah Anderson believed that street wisdom was a general skill. The idea was, once you learn how to read dangerous situations in one neighborhood, you could use those exact same skills anywhere else in the world.
What I've come up with is the notion that there's a code of the street, a code of the street. And this code of the street is this way of kind of being safe in communities that are in many ways distressed because of the economy, because of the ways in which people have to struggle to make a living, especially given the economic downturns that so many of these communities have experienced.
Luca Berardi's thesis challenges that idea completely based on his time in Lawrence Heights. The local reality. Berardi introduces a new term: neighborhood wisdom. This means street knowledge is completely customized to a specific location. The social and spatial. Residents learn the specific history of local gangbeasts. Who is fighting whom? Which courtyards are the safe zone? And which areas, like Farna Drive, acts as a dangerous hotspot? They know the exact layout of the footpath, shortcuts, and hiding spots. Why doesn't it travel? If you take someone with neighborhood wisdom from Lawrence Heights and drop him in a rough neighborhood in Chicago or London, their survival skills won't automatically work. Why? Because the threats, the local politics, and the street layouts are completely different. Street survival isn't a universal superpower. It's local knowledge built brick by brick from the specific environment you live in. This is page 75, chapter 3 of The Species. Everything I've learned from residents, the police, and local agencies suggests that much of the gun violence, if not all, come from people who are not from the neighborhood. So it's not Lawrence Heights kids driving around the area and shooting other Lawrence Heights kids. It's coming from outside. When I asked Irene, the recreation coordinator at the community center for the last 30 years, if she could elaborate on some of the challenges faced by a resident, she responded,
Well, the main challenge is that Lawrence Heights is not safe. There's the constant threat of drive-by shootings that happen any time of the day or night, and the target of all these shootings, well, they're not always targeted shootings, but the people that have been shot and killed have all been young black men, some sort of teenage to mid-30s.
Counselor Kennington and Irene, like the residents in my sample, identified gun violence, more specifically drive-by, as the most pressing threat faced by the community. Moreover, they recognized that while targets of gun violence were exclusively young black and male, perpetrators were often random in choosing victims. In other words, every young black man between the age of 15 and 35 was a potential target, regardless of their involvement or knowledge of these inter-neighborhood conflicts. Not surprisingly, this created a precarious situation for all young black men in Lawrence Heights, who found themselves unable to safely walk through their neighborhood without risking violent victimization. I asked 32-year-old Shaddy, a second-generation Jamaican-Canadian resident of 28 years, if he could explain the indiscriminate nature of this violence. He said,
Look, man, back in the day, if we had problems with somebody, we'd go after that person directly, you know what I'm saying? These days, members of rival social housing project come after the community. If they got a problem with one person, they'll attack the whole community. So if you're a black male, you're gonna get it. If Jungle's at war with another hood, and you're this color, watch out.
He continued,
A couple years ago, when this whole Jungle-Neptune beef started, there was like 30-something shooting in a single summer. Only black guys were getting shot out here. But we had to have this big meeting at the healthcare center because the staff were all scared. All the white staff were freaking out, worried about getting shot. I finally got up and said, You listen up. The only people who got anything to worry about and I pointed out me and 3 other black guys in the room. We gotta worry. We're the black males. We're the endangered species here.
Most of the young black men I spent time with in Lawrence Heights were acutely aware of the nature of the gun violence in the community. You hear crickets out here at nighttime. Knowing when gun violence occur. One of the major consequences of living under the constant threat of gun violence is that it limits when and where individuals can spend time in public. Indeed, one of the first things that struck me when I started my fieldwork in Lawrence Heights was the absence of young black men outdoors, particularly after dark. Only later did I learn that this absence was directly related to the feelings of vulnerability, that the inability of police to protect residents from gun violence, coupled with a culture of neighborhood beefing, pushed young black men indoor and away from public life. Most young black men from Lawrence Heights were not only attuned to where gun violence was likely to occur, but also when it was likely to occur. This included specially about time of the day, and even the season. In Lawrence Heights, residents with a firm grasp of the code of survival were aware that gun violence almost always occurred at night and spiked in the summer months, when young men spent most of the times outside. In an interview, Gigi discussed this day versus night. He explained,
I've seen every race of people walk through this neighborhood in the daytime. Black, white, Asians. I've seen all people. I've seen little kids walking through. Everybody's outside in the daytime, but at nighttime, you hear crickets out here at nighttime, and it's effing terrible. 'Cause like, yo, if you're a black guy and you have to be outside at nighttime, the probability of something happening to you skyrockets. 'Cause you're the only one out here. There's nobody outside. You come through here at nighttime, even in your car, you gotta check your mirrors before you get out. You gotta look around, you gotta say a prayer, and then you run.
Monks expressed similar sentiments about the risk associated with being outside at night as a young black male. He said,
If you're a black youth, you can't come outside at night in our area. If you gotta go outside at night, it has to be in short bursts. You have to be going to a close location, cause
walking with purpose, you mean?
better be a effing good purpose. You know what I mean? It better be worth it. What I'm saying is your distance can't be too far. It has to be like 5 minutes round trip, max, if you know what I mean. I learned that the hard way. Yeah, when nighttime comes, you don't want to be outside.